Niners faithful, welcome back to NFL Focus. Today we have a lot to talk about. We are celebrating a true franchise icon whose impact on the San Francisco 49ers stretches across generations. We are examining a series of roster moves that reveal exactly how this organization approaches depth and competition. And we are continuing our roster rankings, diving into that fascinating group of players who live in the space between superstar and starter. These are the players who rarely dominate national headlines. They are not always the names featured on television graphics. But when playoff games are decided, when injuries strike, and when championship dreams are either realized or shattered, these are often the players who determine the outcome. This is where great organizations separate themselves from average ones. Anyone can identify elite talent. The truly difficult part is building quality depth, developing future contributors, and maintaining a roster capable of surviving a long NFL season. And when you look closely at what the 49ers have assembled in this area of the roster, it becomes clear that this team may be deeper than many people realize. Let's start with a story that every member of the faithful can appreciate. The San Francisco 49ers will officially induct franchise legend Keena Turner into the 49ers Hall of Fame during Week 6 this season. And honestly, it is hard to imagine anyone more deserving. Turner represents everything this organization has stood for during its most successful eras. He spent his entire playing career wearing the red and gold. He was a key contributor during one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history. He helped bring 4 Super Bowl championships to San Francisco during the legendary 1980s. And when his playing days ended, his service to football and to the organization was far from over. He transitioned into coaching under Bill Walsh at Stanford before eventually joining the 49ers front office. Think about that for a moment. An entire NFL career, 4 Super Bowl rings, then decades of coaching and executive leadership. For more than 2 decades, Turner has continued helping shape the future of the organization he once represented on the field. That level of loyalty is rare. That level of commitment is extraordinary. And perhaps no story captures the spirit of Keena Turner better than the famous tale of him playing in a Super Bowl while battling chickenpox. Most people would have looked for reasons not to play. Most people would have focused on their discomfort. Turner focused on helping his team win. That mindset perfectly defines his legacy. Toughness, sacrifice, dedication, an unwavering commitment to the team above all else. Those are values that helped build the 49ers dynasty. Those are values that continue to define the organization today. When that Hall of Fame ceremony takes place at Levi's Stadium, it is going to be an emotional moment for players, coaches, executives, and fans alike. And honestly, it will be one of those moments that reminds us all why we love this franchise so much. Now, before we continue, if you're enjoying this breakdown and appreciate the effort that goes into these deep dive documentaries, take a second to help support the channel. Subscribe to NFL Focus. Hit that like button. Share this video with fellow members of the faithful. And leave a comment below with your favorite Keena Turner memory. We put a tremendous amount of hard work, research, and dedication into producing content like this every single week. Every subscription is a motivation for us to keep creating more in-depth 49ers coverage for this amazing community. Now let's move on to the latest roster developments. One of the more interesting stories involves the return of Sincere McCormick. For some fans, these roster moves can appear confusing. A player gets released. Another player arrives. Then a few weeks later, everything changes again. But this is actually one of the most normal parts of NFL roster construction. McCormick was previously released as the 49ers brought in Jordan Mims and JaMycal Hasty for evaluation. Now those players are gone. McCormick is back. What happened? Simple. The 49ers conducted an extended evaluation. They wanted to see multiple players in action. They wanted to compare skill sets. They wanted additional information before making decisions. After gathering that information, they determined McCormick was the better fit. That is not chaos. That is not uncertainty. That is smart roster management. This is exactly how successful organizations identify the right depth pieces. The reality is that the running back depth chart currently revolves around Christian McCaffrey, Jordan James, and Colin Laborn. Those are the names that matter most. Everything beneath them remains a competition. Training camp will continue sorting out the final positions. Some players will rise. Others will disappear. That process is completely normal. Now, let's move into the roster rankings because this is where things become especially interesting. We begin at number 26 with Jake Tonjes. Tonjes represents one of the most important aspects of successful roster building, player development. Not every contributor enters the league as a highly publicized prospect. Sometimes opportunities emerge unexpectedly. For Tonjes, that opportunity arrived when injuries created additional snaps. Instead of simply filling a roster spot, he took advantage of the moment. His first career reception was a small step, but it represented something larger. Growth, progress, confidence. His athletic profile suggests there is still more upside waiting to be unlocked. And while he may not currently be a household name, players like Tonjes often become important pieces over the course of a season. At number 25, we have Renardo Green. Few players generate stronger opinions among the faithful. The reason is simple. The talent is obvious. The potential is undeniable. Yet consistency has remained elusive. We've seen flashes that make you believe he can become a high-level starter. We've seen athleticism, length, physicality, and impressive moments in man coverage. Then we've also seen mistakes that remind us he is still developing. The encouraging news is that year 3 is often where everything starts to click for NFL cornerbacks. The physical tools are already there. The challenge becomes mastering the mental side of the game. Recognizing route combinations, reading offensive intentions, reacting instinctively rather than processing every detail. If Green takes that next step mentally, his ceiling remains incredibly high, and the improved defensive front should help him tremendously. A stronger pass rush can transform an entire secondary. Quarterbacks make mistakes when they are pressured. Coverage improves when timing is disrupted. Green could be one of the biggest beneficiaries of a healthier and more aggressive defensive line. At number 24 sits Keandre White. And honestly, this might be one of the most underrated players on the entire roster. White brings something every defensive coordinator values. Relentless effort, physicality, versatility. He can challenge blockers on the interior. He can create problems on the edge. He contributes against the run. He pressures quarterbacks. And perhaps most importantly, he will be part of a rotation featuring Nick Bosa and an improved defensive front. Think about how difficult that is for opposing offenses. Just when a starting lineman begins to wear down, another disruptive defender enters the game. That constant pressure adds up over 4 quarters. The statistics may not always tell the full story, but the impact will be felt. By season's end, White may prove far more valuable than many fans currently expect. At number 23, we find one of the most exciting developmental prospects on the roster, De'Zhaun Stribling. There is something special about a receiver with size, speed, reliable hands, and a willingness to block. Those traits create possibilities. At 6'2" with legitimate speed, Stribling possesses physical tools that cannot be taught. Route running can improve. Technique can improve. Experience can improve. But natural athletic ability is much harder to develop. The coaching staff has reportedly been impressed with his off-season work. That should excite every 49ers fan. Kyle Shanahan's offense has a long history of maximizing talented receivers. If opportunities arise because of injuries or roster changes, Stribling may be ready to seize them. And if that happens, his development could become one of the most compelling stories of the season. Just ahead of him at number 22 is Christian Kirk. Some fans may look at that ranking and immediately disagree, but experience matters, and Kirk brings a tremendous amount of it. He is lined up all over the field. He understands multiple offensive systems. He knows how to prepare like a professional. He provides leadership. He provides stability, and he gives coaches flexibility. Those qualities rarely appear on stat sheets, yet they influence winning every single week. Young players benefit from veterans like Kirk. Quarterbacks benefit from veterans like Kirk. Coaching staffs benefit from veterans like Kirk. His value extends well beyond the box score. At number 21 is Alfred Collins. Collins embodies the challenge facing many young NFL players. The flashes are there. The potential is obvious. The consistency is still developing. When Collins is at his best, you can easily envision a future starter on the defensive interior. His size and physical traits simply stand out. The mission for year 2 is straightforward. Turn flashes into consistency. Turn potential into production. The coaching staff clearly believes he can make that leap. If they are correct, the 49ers may have secured a long-term contributor at a premium position. Number 20 belongs to DJ Jones. His story is one of resilience. Last season, injuries limited his effectiveness. At times, it was obvious he was not operating at full strength. Yet even through those challenges, there were signs that the talent remained intact. As his health improved, his performance improved. That is encouraging. A healthy DJ Jones changes things. He strengthens the run game. He strengthens pass protection. He provides veteran stability. And sometimes the biggest off-season acquisition is simply getting an important player healthy again. That may be exactly what the 49ers have accomplished here. At number 19 sits Jake Brendel. Evaluating Brendel honestly requires acknowledging two truths at the same time. He played some of the best football of his career. He also struggled during several critical moments. Both statements are true. The positive trajectory deserves recognition. The concerns deserve recognition as well. The challenge now is consistency. Because when Brendel performs at his highest level, he is absolutely capable of anchoring an NFL offensive line. The next step is bringing that performance level into the biggest games and biggest moments. At number 18 is Kyle Juszczyk. And honestly, his importance continues to be underestimated. Many fans around the league look at the fullback position and assume it no longer matters. Kyle Shanahan's offense tells a different story. Juszczyk provides flexibility that very few players in football can replicate. He blocks. He catches passes. He creates mismatches. He allows the offense to disguise intentions. He expands a playbook. And that value cannot be measured solely through statistics. He remains one of the most unique offensive weapons in football. Removing him from the equation would not improve the offense. It would limit it. Finally, at number 17, we arrive at C.J. West. And this may be the breakout candidate everyone should watch. West possesses the kind of skill set that often goes unnoticed until suddenly everyone is talking about it. He can occupy blockers. He can control space. He can collapse pockets. He can create opportunities for the players around him. Those responsibilities rarely generate headlines, yet they are absolutely critical. Great defensive lines require players willing to do the dirty work. West appears capable of becoming exactly that type of player. And if his development continues, the entire defensive front could benefit. When you step back and examine this entire group from 26 to 17, one thing becomes clear. The 49ers have built legitimate depth, not just bodies, not just backups, real contributors, real developmental prospects, real veterans with meaningful value. This is the foundation that supports championship aspirations. This is how great teams survive injuries. This is how playoff contenders remain competitive deep into January. And frankly, it is one of the reasons many national analysts continue to underestimate what this roster is capable of becoming. As we wrap things up, let me hear from you. Who do you believe will crack the top 10? Which player in today's rankings has the best chance to exceed expectations? And what are your thoughts on Keena Turner's well-deserved Hall of Fame induction? Drop your answers in the comments below. And before you leave, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this video. We invest countless hours of hard work, preparation, editing, research, and dedication into producing documentaries and in-depth coverage like this for the faithful. Every single subscription equals motivation for our team. Every like helps more 49ers fans discover NFL Focus. Every comment strengthens our community. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you for being part of the NFL Focus family. Until next time, stay faithful, stay passionate, and we'll see you in the next one.